Gentlemen, thousand freaking X, baby. It is General Greene. Today we're going to talk about how we're taking over America and also GameStop YOLO. Up 40% today, ladies and gentlemen. We're taking over the stock market. We're taking over the United States of America. We're taking our freedom back. Power in the freaking people. GME up 40% earlier today. If you're not excited to be alive, I don't know what you're waiting for. We've got some major moves and events taking place worldwide, of course. D-Day is being celebrated, the infamous day of which Allied nations stormed the beaches of Normandy so we could be locked in our houses in 2020 and rounded up like cattle. I'm being kind of facetious, but I'm proving the point that we really live in an insane asylum today here in the United States of America. We need to think critically on how to position ourselves for success. Again, what are the solutions in your life, not necessarily what the media is espousing. Now, GameStop is really cool to look at, almost in a petri dish, because it shows how much collective, decentralized power that the American people and people around the world truly have. Our ability to gamify the entire system just like the elites do against us on a daily basis. Notice Washington, D.C. is getting involved. They're like, wait a minute. Roaring Kitty is making too much money. He's doing the same thing that Goldman Sachs does, so we're going to have to investigate. Again, we all know it's a two-tiered system, but the question is, how can we rig it against them? And that's the beauty of all of this. 2024, I am super stoked today. Papa John on his freaking way. Dude, Learjet fired freaking up. He's coming over to see his son today. I'm so excited. I feel like a little kid. He's coming home from work or something, you know? I love my pops. And we've got all this good news coming, of course, as a part of islandproject.com this year. We are closing successfully on property number 4, June 14th, this week on Flag Day. The declaration of freaking independence of fractionally owned, tokenized real estate on a freaking blockchain, baby, to the freaking moon. Insane. $17 million deployed during hyperinflation in the United States, and we stand with the roaring kitties of the world. We're doing it in the real estate game. You're doing it in the stock market. We're doing it in blockchain. We're doing it in crypto. Ladies and gentlemen, thousand freaking X to the moon. Paul says power in numbers, 100%. So, what's going on today? I'm so stoked. We're going to talk about changing your life. We're going to talk about raising the energy levels up, feeling the passion. Ladies and gentlemen, far too many of you have been growing numb to the world. You've been growing numb in this catharsis of what's going on in the world, this media game, the AI, just, people kind of getting down in the dumps. We're seeing what's happening around the world, but people aren't taking enough action. So let's talk a little bit motivation today. For example, envy and jealousy comes from not taking enough action in your own life. If you've ever felt those emotions, which are not of God, that's of the sinner, that's of Satan, that actually comes from your own self-identification and your own lack of action. Case in point, we live in a technological world today. We live in a world which is so blessed, where most of us are far wealthier than any of the previous generations ever have been in world history. But with that has grown this insane and petrified and honestly kind of disgusting comfort that has grown people wary in their own lives, has grown them into complacency, has grown them into obesity, has grown them into illness, has grown them into isolationism. And the point being, we all must be taking so much action in our own lives on a daily basis that you don't have time to think. Whether or not this is making money, getting the girl, starting a business, ripping GameStop higher 40%, launching on a blockchain as a part of islandproject.com. We all have collective power in unity together, gamifying the system as we've seen and done many times before. Again, if you've been with me for over 20 years now, you've seen how we've done that with social media, e-commerce, Bitcoin, various tokens, various types of blockchains. We've aggregately grown certain communities from hundreds to tens of thousands to millions of people because we all have that power on the internet, which they don't like. They don't like that you have power. They don't like that we can community organize. They don't like that we can game their same system that they're gaming against you. Again, why did our forefathers fight and die on the beaches of Normandy? An absolute torturous of day. Why did they face the fire of machine guns if it was all for naught? If it was all for not finding your purpose in life, finding freedom, finding spirit, finding the thing that really makes you feel alive. You know, we live in a very dangerous world. We're about 60, 70 years, I think, from World War II. So we're definitely due for World War III. And what's happening now, and I believe that we're in it today, is very much a technological type war. It's a resource asset reconfiguration of the entire planet. So case in point, another major prediction of your general came true earlier today. Christine Lagarde, okay, the shark. You see her, she's got the little hair, you know, it's like cut right up here. And she's always got like a scarf tight really around her neck, you know. And she lowered interest rates today, which is what I told you that they would do. After the trillions of dollars worthless of bailouts, all the printing of currency and hyperinflation, as asset prices skyrocketed, they would actually freaking cut, which is what they're doing now. We're now seeing nation states around the world, after only a paltry 8 months, starting to cut interest rates into the biggest Ponzi scheme we've ever seen in world history. What this is gonna do is take asset prices through the roof, real estate, gold, silver, stocks. We see it with NVIDIA stock reaching $3 trillion. This is the #1 biggest company in the world now. It's far exceeding Tesla and Amazon stock combined. This total discombobulation of manipulation, outright fraud, scam, on basically the stock market itself being run by Wall Street, free money, free debt, free bailouts, and draconian manipulation by central banks like Christine Lagarde. But again, what is the solution here, ladies and gentlemen? What do you do? What do we do as God-fearing people? What do we do as entrepreneurs? What do we do as capitalists? Well, you know, there's a couple big themes, and I think you've picked up on it, whether or not it's come from me or these are things you're actively engaged in now. So again, where are the strengths in an environment like this? You're the strength. Where is the main strength? It's community. It's network effect and network growth. In fact, when you look at a stock, when you look at crypto, I actually don't really look at the price. I actually look at its network effect. Same thing with Bitcoin. I actually look at the hash rate. I see if that's progressing. I look at user growth. I also look at from a marketing perspective. I look at how people are engaging with the technology, always looking for the hockey stick growth. We saw that with social media, for example. It's one of the reasons why I knew YouTube and e-commerce, et cetera, social media would take over the entire planet, was because of the hockey stick network effect. That's actually far more important than price. So this is really, really interesting. Roaring Kitty has announced, I believe tomorrow, he's doing a live stream. Of course, he's even testified on Capitol Hill before, because bottom line is they don't like it. The whole goal of the elites is to keep you broke, poor, subservient, a peasant, put you on UBI, lock you in your house, force things that have never been tested, and have no legal liability. That's the whole goal. That's, I guess, why they stormed the beaches of Normandy. Now, by the way, they are using it to advance the war. They are using it. Biden gave a speech. Macron, the Mark, and his hideous wife gave a speech as well, along with Vladimir Zelensky, a unelected dictator now of Ukraine. He's been unelected. For those of you that don't know, Vladimir Zelensky, the former actor of Ukraine, because his time in power has passed, but it's during war, he's actually an unelected, non-democratically elected, no democracy at all, unelected by the global elite class dictator of Ukraine. Still not NATO, by the way, as well. So keep in mind all your dollars, all your taxpayer monies, all your funds, all your children, the net worth of America, your failing pensions, which will go to zero, your retirement accounts, etc., are still being donated to an unelected leader, non-NATO dictator in the form of Vladimir Zelensky, which we already know all that. Again, like, it's bonkers right now, ladies and gentlemen. Do you realize how bonkers this freaking is? And we're going to get back to solutions in a minute, but this is bonkers. Like, literally, the West is attacking Russia and their actual physical soil now. They are attacking and bombing through bombing raids Mother Russia today, and the American people don't think that there won't be consequences to bombing the crap out of Mother Russia. Of course there will be. Of course there will be. In fact, Vladimir Putin is now running naval exercises along with his other allied nations like Iran and also China, notably in the Caribbean. So that's going on. We might have to visit, have a couple Mai Tais, guys, and hang out, watch the fireworks together. So in all seriousness, this is extremely dangerous. So what do you do here? Again, we all know what the trends are. Identify the trends. We all know that the power comes from all of us. We all know a simple like, that's your power. We all know by sharing content, that's our power. We all know by collective community organizing and action, that's our power. Look at Island Project. $17 million deployed of a no bank debt asset, 4 properties closed, the 4th one in Park City, Deer Valley, booyah, a freaking ski lodge in Deer Valley, for crying out loud. $33.5 million, soon to be tokenized for only our founding members around the world, then going worldwide on a multi-billion-dollar blockchain, of which everyone will be able to buy as we freaking take over the world and establish a multi-billion-dollar market cap on the blockchain networks. You understand what we've built, right? You understand what we've done. We've taken a physical asset with no risk, the best real estate in the world, beach, oceanfront, and ski lodges. We're diversifying not just here in America, but internationally. Learjets fired up this summer. You're going to witness as we are on our hunt for the purchase of international property as a part of our international diversification. Of course, the majority of our assets are here in Hawaii. The majority of the homes will be in Maui and Oahu, but we're also adding surprises. Places like Park City for our community network, for some use, for some entertainment, etc. As your asset grows, the legacy asset produces cash flows. Many of you have onboarded in recent days. You've spoken with me and or my father, but now the international segment of multiple flagships worldwide. Thailand, booyah. Bali, booyah, is coming. Singapore, booyah, is coming, which is a good little hub there. You'll also see me in other parts of Asia like Japan later this year as we expand during the collapse. Again, follow me on Twitter. It's pretty dope on X. Follow me at AMTV Media. It's the only Twitter. It's the only Twitter, guys, that you can follow your general here at AMTV Media. Make sure you follow me there and just click that, button to, keep up to speed with everything that we're doing. I can get the information out very, very quickly. So politically, what's going on? Talk about solutions. What could your political action be? Well, actually, by community organizing, building parallel economies, networks like Island Project and others, what you're seeing with GameStop, how you're seeing them gamify the stock market, rigging it against the rig job. Isn't that awesome? Rigging it against the cartel, rigging it against the Goldman Sachs, rigging it against JP Morgan Chase sucks my balls, right? Isn't that great? See, you're seeing the American people finally fight back collectively through decentralized force and action on the internet, saying, we're in charge now, we're taking over the United States of America, we own this place, and you're our freaking bitch, is what we're saying here in the United States of America in 1776 fashion, peacefully, of course, because we promote peace. But that is what we're doing. So our power comes from that. You know, as we see the political arms of the fake two-party system implode, as we see Steve Bannon sent to jail, he's going to be serving, I believe, 45 days along with other loyal supporters of Trump. What a baller. What a baller. See, that's integrity. That's integrity. He's willing to go down for a friend. He's willing to go down for a cause. He's willing to remain loyal under any circumstances. And of course, Steve is a very smart, intelligent guy. I mean, he's going to be pardoned by Trump. Once Trump gets in, he'll be seeking wrath and vengeance, unfortunately. I mean, I think it's kind of bad in a way, but we're going to see massive vengeance by the Trump administration. I mean, I'm expecting full-blown prosecutorial sessions all across the 4-year reign of Donald Trump, and I'm expecting dozens of leading Democrats to not just be prosecuted, but probably thrown in the clinker if convicted by a jury of their peers, of which they will receive a fair trial. So again, what we must understand here is that we're really getting like an implosion of the American empire. We're getting an implosion of the rigged stock market. You heard my dad talk about this. Stocks are rigged. The capitalism, they're attempting to get rid of it. They don't want capitalism. They don't want freedom. They don't want some dude on the internet like Roaring Kitty to be able to gamify his call options and make other people rich. What they want is a rig job for the Nancy Pelosi insider traders, which actually that's a pun because they're traders, but they're also traders, at the same time that actually outperform hedge funds in the United States because there's no rules from the policymakers actually betting on the same stocks they freaking rig and also declare policy on. Again, the same crony politicians in Washington, D.C. sold all of their stocks in 2020 prior to the lockdowns because they actually wrote the bills covertly knowing America was going to get locked down before any of you did. So they sold all their positions, then bought them all back at the bottom in March 2020. And again, there's been zero consequences to any of this because, again, the whole thing is rigged. So we understand that. It's not like we need to harp and beat the horse, so to speak, and kick it while it's down. What you need to do is learn how to play them at an even better game. What you need to learn is how to 1000x your own life and to play by the system that's actually been designed and then use it against them for your own success. Again, this is kind of the gamifying nature. It's really, life is a game, right? Money is a game. Finances is a game. Your success is a game. Business is a game. I've always told you guys, if you want to get rich, it's easy. You just solve other people's problems. You provide a solution to a problem that people have. Then you do it at scale, and then that's how you get rich. There's unlimited demand. People need things. They have problems, so solve their problems. Whether or not that's washing somebody's car or washing a window, or it's launching a blockchain or gamifying GME stock or providing a solution or a service to someone else's problem, that is how you get rich. So here's what's really cool. Most Americans and most everyone on the internet today all has the same problem. And what is that? They're being eradicated. Hyperinflation is taking over their bank accounts. They have no control over their money in the traditional financial system. This is why the Trumps have been spending so much time in El Salvador recently. I don't know if you've noticed this, but they've all been in El Salvador hanging out with Bukele as they build out this new technological city that we're now seeing on the El Salvador coastline, cleaning up the gangs, getting rid of all those evil people. As I got a freaking bee coming after me right now. Get the heck away from me, you stupid bee. I don't even think that's a bee. By the way, these things are dangerous out here. I got stung by one last week in my arm. And literally my arm was 3 times its normal size for a week. And I'm not even allergic to these things. It's really crazy. I was on the golf course. I'm like just chipping away. And the thing's like, I'm going to get you, buddy. Got me right on the arm. And I was talking to my dad about that. He's like, oh, yeah, that happened to me. My arm blew up, too. He said it happened years ago. I had a family member, too, get stung in the neck, and they actually had to deliver, my mom actually, by a queen bee right in the carotid artery. She had to call 911. Her throat was closing, and when they showed up, they were basically cussing, and they took that big thing in Pulp Fiction and they threw it right down in her heart. It actually saved her life. This happened a couple years ago. So yeah, it's probably a CIA-B. You're right, Silver Bars. It's probably a CIA, it's probably a drone. You know, they can make microscopic drones like that. It's part of their surveillance apparatus. So we're taking over America, and this is what people must understand. We're in charge now here at AMTV. GameStop, we see the gamifying of GME stock. Roaring Kitty's in charge. Okay, the pussycat is wearing the pants. So the Goldman Sachs and the Capitol Hill and the Washington needs to sit back and watch and learn on who's really, really in charge of the United States of America. Again, the people have the power. Folks in all, conscientiousness, that's what they really don't want you to know. That's why the media spends so much money manipulating human perception and also just people's idea of reality. It's why they feed so much propaganda through the media machine, through your television screen, through the radio, etc. So we have a massive opportunity today to do something that has never, ever been done before in the history of the world. Island Project, an invention, which I encourage you to click the link below right now. I'll add these links at islandproject.com. Get in, has never been done before. $17 million democratized for the everyman, just a 30,000 unit minimum, 30K to get in. You own the best real estate in the world. You own beach and ocean front. You own ski in, ski out lodges in Park City. You own international diversification. You own cash flows as a result of that. And we're all breaking through the paradigm of this technological invention, the Wild West. It's kind of like even, going out on the Oregon Trail. You're settling west and there's a bunch of free land out there. All you have to do is take the risk, get in the cart, so to speak, join forces, circle the wagons with the winning team and head that direction and then plant your freaking flag. It really is no different. You see, America was founded on risk. It was founded on the risk, for example, of all of our forefathers catching those ships at great risk and cost to themselves and their families to then land, of course, and form the 13 colonies, to land and immigrate into places like Staten Island and New York. Same thing with the conquering of the West. So the stressed point that I want to make today is that you truly have every opportunity to change your entire life. You truly have everything that it takes to make a difference today, to not only be passionate about what's going on, but to take your power back and to really live your wildest dreams. Like, there's nothing holding you back from doing everything that you would ever imagine, anything that you would ever want to do, serving God, of course. He's in charge. He's always going to give you what you need, not necessarily everything that you want, but what you need. There's nothing stopping you. But I also want to emphasize that the window is closing. Just like we saw the internet, of course, we saw the emergence of Amazon stock, Tesla, Google, etc., Microsoft take over the world, transform the world, and then consolidate. The same thing's happening in crypto and blockchain today. The same thing will happen with Bitcoin. Now that we're getting closer, and it's a guarantee, Bitcoin will sail, I believe, this summer to 100K plus. Once we're breaking six figures, once it's going to compound very aggressively. So you're going to see 250K, 500K, a million, 2 million, 3 million Bitcoin. As that fixed monetary policy, which has already been pre-coded and written, as you see, all of the supply pretty much issued already, and the mining rewards cut down every single 4 years, especially as great countries like El Salvador harness its energy through volcanic mining, something all of you should study, as have I, that is going to build entire superstate cities of the future. Like, you must understand, Bitcoin isn't even just a financial asset, it's a human energy asset. That's all that money is. Do you know that they're actually charging if you use cash today? There was a big article, because we're moving to a cashless society, whether we all like it or not, which I'm against, but now most venues will charge you in a reverse ATM for your cash purchases. If you want to buy a hot dog, let's say you're at a ball game and you have a $100 bill with you, they won't accept it. You'll have to go to a reverse ATM, insert your $100, be surveilled and tracked, and they'll probably take a picture of your face while they're at it, and then they give you a fake debit card, which you have to use at the venue. Again, remember how they told us in 2020 that they had to get rid of cash because it would spread the virulent? You remember that? All part of the plan. It was all part of their psyop. It was all a part of their agenda. I told you that checked off every box that these elite bastards ever wanted to achieve here in the United States and the westernized world. They were able to get away with basically everything that they intended. So, big news. Big news. I have hundreds of new hats, by the way, and merch being sent to our new members that have gathered around the world. I've had dozens of new members break into new tier categories, 250 units, 500 units, 1,000 units. Keep in mind, once you crush through the major benchmarks as a part of your ownership of islandproject.com, 100% equity owned, not only do you get the cash flows and the capital gains, the tokenization, that token launch, but in addition to that, you do get some use, which is super cool. You can pick which properties you want to stay up to a certain amount of weeks a year. So for example, if you have $1 million with Island Project, our 1000X Diamond Nuts members get 30 days every single year comped at properties that range from $2,000 to $5,000 a night rented out. I want you to think about this, how massive dividend that is. It's an intangible dividend in addition to the cash flows being paid for the members just because they're a member. They never have to stay at a hotel. They can just go skiing, or they can come to Maui Boo, or they can go to Waikiki Boo. And again, what's beautiful about this, where all of our strength comes from is our network. All of our strength comes from the community of all the businessmen, women, moms, dads, Christian ballers, pastors from all over the world. I think I have 5 or 6 pastors now, members of islandproject.com, which tells you everything you need to know about our project, how amazing it is, how stupendous it is, how we're #1 in the world. I mean, total Diamond Nuts, total trophy winners, total freaking All-Americans, All-Americana. I mean, literally, that's where we come from. I've told you that all the time. I mean, I'm a D1 All-American freaking trophy winner, dude. Started as a freshman NCAA. You know how badass my father was as an athlete? He used to race at the Forum, the 100-yard dash, and win when he was in high school, man. My dad was the greatest football player ever. He's in the paper all the time in Long Beach, Wilson, by the way. A freaking badass, because badass genes run through the freaking family. You should see my kids. They're better looking, handsomer, cooler, more awesome, smarter, ridiculously sweet, God-fearing, strong men, like insane, man. Like, that's why I've even had kids, just because I can ride their coattails, you know? As many of you know, as loving fathers out there. So I want to encourage you today to take your life back, to feel passionate about what you're doing. Realize that you're powerful. Realize that God's in control. He's got this. He's got your back. But I want to ask you a question. I want you to realistically respond to it today. What if I told you you had 1 month to live? What if I told you it was terminal, just like my brother? Terminal is what my brother got. He woke up one day, he was like 37, and they're like, you're going to die. What would you do, and how would your life change in this very instant and moment today if that was God's plan for you? What would happen? How would you act differently? What risks would you take that you wouldn't normally take? Would you embrace your loved ones a little closer and harder? Would you make more beautiful love with your wife? Would you sing to the mountaintops to the glory of Jesus? Would you go to church and get on your knees and praise God for your life in that moment that you actually have? Would you travel a little bit more? Would you start that business? Would you make that investment you'd been hesitating on? Would you join communities like ours at islandproject.com? Would you take the risk? Would you step outside of your own manipulation, your own fake mindset that's been crafted? You see, someone else has given you your mindset. The media has given your mindset. Fake politicians have given you your mindset. Not my beautiful members here, but we see CNN and the fake news and Fox and MSNBC. They're giving you and programming you the mindset. Large technological multinational corporations run by Jeff Bezos and others are giving you your mindset. Is it really yours? And so I encourage you today, think about it that way. Realize that you must live through this moment that we're all in, this mysterious, beautiful moment that we're engaged in, even right now, in this crazy freaking video that we'll never, ever freaking get back. It's just this. It's just this in this moment with the sun shining, God just smiling upon us, and bees trying to freaking attack me, and the wind coming, and wherever you might be sitting, at your work office or at your home or at your ranch. I got a lot of Texans out here. Our biggest state, of course, in islandproject.com. You know who you are. One of our amazing members, Mr. Duncan, actually sent me a bunch of merch recently. I just got it, by the way. Mr. Duncan, thank you very much. Much appreciate you and your son, your entire family in the great state of Texas, and just declaring your freedom and all the great things I know you do in Texas too, for independence and liberty. I mean, I view Texas pretty much as its own country. I really believe at some point we might even see Texas just completely independent, which is extremely attractive, by the way, and we'll see if that happens. I think that we're seeing some of that organically, but it's actually transforming into projects and things that we're actually building. See, I think that where it's going is how I've positioned again as a first mover on my investments and assets and personal net worth and platform is in these new systems and in these new paradigms, not only in blockchain, but Bitcoin and fractional real estate ownership and private funds that are being run in Robinhood format, which I believe most of you probably understand now. You know, if you ask yourself, for example, what is it that we've done? What have we built? It's really a private fund that is run by and for the people, that gives the opportunity to own the best assets, free from the intervention of the scam of Wall Street, free from the oppression of BlackRock, free from the lockdowns, free from the bank failures, free from the capital restrictions that are coming, that we're already seeing in Canada and Australia, and we're seeing in New Zealand. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is an absolute honor today on this beautiful Thursday to serve you at islandproject.com. I encourage you to call my father, Papa John, at 808-442-2934. That's 808-442-2934. Roll over those IRAs while you still can. Ask how to move your retirement account over. That's actually the most popular way to move assets and funds, and there are some tax advantages. Go seek tax advice. Speak to my father. We have very trusted third parties that we utilize to roll over those financial assets, just like if you have a self-directed IRA, say in gold. You can run a self-directed IRA, which many of my members do, in the Island Project itself, owning the best real estate asset that you could have never owned before. Again, there's never been an opportunity in history to buy a $10 million house, for example, on the beach for just $30K that provides real ownership. We're not a timeshare. People ask that all the time. We're not a timeshare. Timeshares are terrible. I would never advise buying a timeshare. You don't own anything in a timeshare. What you own in a timeshare is time. When you buy Island Project, you own the asset. You physically freaking own it. You own pro rata of the units that you own, 1,530 units, which is our minimum. And you own all the rights to the cash flows, capital gains, the token launch, and some use, which we just thought was cool to open it up, because I think that provides even more community organization and feedback, not to mention annual events that I'm very excited to be holding very, very soon, as we diversify, of course, a little bit more internationally later this year. So truly, this is your moment. As we sit today, approaching July 4th, as you ask that question, what would you do differently if you were given, let's say, 30 days to live? Let's say you got the call and the doc says it's terminal, you got 30 days. How would you change your efforts? Would you enjoy your life a little bit more? You know what that also does too for people, letting go and giving it to God? It also lets go from a lot of stress. It also lets go from the fact of you trying to control everything in your own life. It also allows, I think, people to let go of fear. I noticed this in my brother. You know, he was terminal, and he really did believe that he would continue to live, which he was right about, because now he lives with the Lord, obviously. He lives forever. So he was 100% Right, but the point is that the mind is your most powerful thing. Your mind and your spirit and your soul and the actions that you take and the belief in yourself and more importantly, your faith in God is where all that spirit energy comes from. So I just encourage you today, stop hesitating. Realize you're powerful in your own life. If you don't have what you want in life, check your inputs and change them. Change the inputs to get the answer or the solution or outcome that you actually intend. For example, if you want to make money, you've got to put the inputs in and the work in to get the outcome that you need. If you want the girl, you've got to put the inputs in to get the outcome that you actually need. If you want to get the business meeting, you've got to put the inputs in to get the outcome by implementing the actions to get what it is you actually need. So think about that today, and also know that we're taking over the world. We're taking over America. God bless Roaring Kitty for everything he's doing. God bless all of you tuning in. God bless all the American patriots worldwide. It's an honor to serve. And I hope to be signing off on all of your amazing, as I've done dozens and dozens of these over the last week, dozens and dozens more applications here at beautifulislandproject.com for my signature and approval along with my entire team. Become a proud owner today of now our $17 million diversified acquisition portfolio, soon to be $33.5 million, right as we posture for our token launch later this year in 24 and early 2025. You will miss this opportunity, folks. Again, the first explorers out west, they were the first ones to get the best land. Okay, the first investors in Bitcoin, like myself, under 1,000, were the real winners because we got in early. The first people to get into social media or to buy Google stock or Amazon or Tesla, they're the winners. The people riding call options on GME, which I actually own a little, not a significant amount, but just really to throw my support in there for the cause, they're the ones really getting rewarded right now. The call options that Roaring Kitty has written, he wrote long before the mania that we're currently seeing, which is why he has a position of $200 to $300 million. Again, making smart and wise investments with no bank debt out of the system in the best real estate during the emergence of the revolution and fractional tokenized real estate is where the real money is. And it's why we're making all of our members rich here at islandproject.com. It's why our mindset is the 1000X. Of course, the inventor of fractional real estate, tokenized real estate world assets tokenized on a blockchain, and everything we've done with our social platforms and all the other great products and services and education that we've provided and been honored to serve all of you over the last near 2 decades. Join now. Take the action. I believe in you. Click the link below. I'm here to serve you along with my family. It is an honor as your general. This is what we do. This is what we love. The power to you, the power to the American people, the power to the American spirit worldwide. Now we have, I think, 15 countries that have onboarded islandproject.com. You don't have to be necessarily here in America. I have a lot of Americans that are already overseas, by the way, in other countries that are still investors, as they have already expatriated in certain areas looking for better opportunities, because there's a lot of opportunities internationally. We must understand this. There's a lot of opportunities right now in Central America, parts of Asia, which might surprise some of you. I'll be spending a lot of time this year and various other locations as well that I won't all give away. So you guys are incredible. I'm about, 38 minutes in, which is pretty much typical of me. I encourage you to like, share, get it out 1000X. Click the links below. If you have any questions at all, just give us a call. It's not like you have to call like India or something, nothing against India, but we don't outsource customer service. You'll actually speak with my father. He will be able to make a recommendation to you, whether or not the investment's right or not for you. He will be able to handhold any of you that need help moving and rolling over your IRAs and retirement accounts. And in addition to that, you can circumvent all of that simply by going to our website at islandproject.com in the members tab, filling out the 30-unit app. You can fund immediately, crypto, ACH, wire transfer, debit, and or credit card. It's very easy to do. And you can DCA and stack up your units to the various tier levels, get into the 150K, 250K, 500,000 units. That's where you're going to see the really crazy gains. All of my 30K ballers, you're going to see crazy gains. But when you really start stepping it up, you also get more advantages like some time and those kinds of things, which I think is really dope. I love you. Links below. Talk to all of you very soon. You are the resistance. You are the 1000X. And this is the digital Noah's Ark, islandproject.com. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, just a dude on the internet. I love you guys so much. Links here on board today.